Good day and welcome to Drew's Book Reviews. July is over. August is just beginning. It's time to talk about my July wrap-up and August preview. So if you're interested in what I have to say, hearing a brief summary of what I've read, what I plan to read coming this month in August, stay tuned because that's coming right up on Drew's Book Reviews. Alright, well, I had a pretty awesome month of reads in the month of July, and I hope you did as well, and I'm really looking forward to my month of August for reading. Actually got through more than I expected, which is a good thing because honestly I was getting a bit behind on my Goodreads goal, which I'd set at 75. Now I'm at 37 of 75, so still a bit behind, but not as behind as I was last month. So it's really awesome that I was able to get in more reads this month than I had in previous months. Now just before we get into what I read and what I plan to read and what we got planned for the month of August, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you know when I post videos. I mostly discuss science fiction and fantasy and nonfiction on my channel. Nonfiction mostly with science and technology and philosophy. So if you're interested in that kind of content, make sure you hit that bell notification. I mainly post on Tuesdays and Fridays and occasionally on Sundays. Alright, so let's talk about what happened with the channel. We actually have some fun this month. And in addition to getting through more books than I originally anticipated getting through, I had a lot of fun this month. I actually was able to get together with this guy. That's right, I got together with Epic Tales earlier this month when he visited Victoria. We had a lot of fun together. It was a brief visit. Would have loved to have more time with Epic. I'll link his channel below so you could go check that out. You know, we made some videos together, which we will get out eventually. Well, I'll let you know once that's out. Once that is out for sure. It was a great time all around. I'm so glad you were able to visit Epic. Look forward to seeing how the videos we made turn out in the end. Looking forward to that. So stay tuned for that. And of course, subscribe to Epic Tales as well because his channel really is just fantastic content. And I'm so happy we were able to get together. We'll probably be doing some more stuff together come spring as well. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what I have read in the month of July. Now this is, of course, is in no particular order as far as what I read in July. But yeah, let's talk about it. So of course, as always, as it is the year of the Poe on Drew's Book Reviews, Edgar Allan Poe, the main story this month was The Narrative of A. Gordon Pym, which was just a crazy story about lost at sea and survival and being shipwrecked and all the adventures that they encounter with Mr. Gordon Pym and what he encounters with his friend while he's just trying to survive at sea. This is actually the longest Poe story that I've read so far this year. It's the only Poe story that I've read this year that involves chapters. Poe is typically known for his short stories, and while The Narrative of A. Gordon Pym is still a relatively short story, relatively speaking, it's the only one with chapters that I've read by Mr. Poe so far. That was just a really great story, really great narrative overall. Of course, you could definitely check out that story, or my review on that story, as well as other Poe stories on my Edgar Allan Poe playlist, which I will have linked either down below or up in the cards. I'll figure that out in editing, but it'll be there. It's here on the channel. Go check that out. Edgar Allan Poe, The Narrative of A. Gordon Pym. So some of the other books that I had finished reading this month, I had actually finished my reread of Pierce Brown's Red Rising saga. So this month I got through Iron Gold, and for the first time, I actually was rereading Red Rising as I was working my way through the series again before I picked up Dark Age, because I wanted to reread all the books that came before Dark Age before I read Dark Age. Now, as I understand, there's supposed to be a 6th book coming out in this series, which hasn't been released yet. But now I've read through all 5 of the Red Rising books that have been published so far, and I can tell you this is a fantastic series. I do have plans coming up at some point to do a video on Red Rising, so make sure that you subscribe to check that out. It's kind of going to be more of a whole series review, overview type video, not an individual book by book review, but that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, finished Iron Gold is a reread and then moved on to Dark Age for the Red Rising saga. This is a fantastic future space opera, great series about set in a world with, or universe or solar system with class distinctions divided by colors and different positions in society, caste system. Anyway, it's just a really great story, and you know, typical dystopian. Well, it starts out as kind of like very much a very dystopian typical starting point, almost Hunger Games-ish, but it evolves into something so much more. So if you haven't read Red Rising, definitely it's worth checking out. This really is a fantastic book series all around, and I absolutely am loving it. Probably one of my favorite science fiction series that I've read, and just overall it is really, really good series. So for the nonfiction book this month that I read, it was The Greatest Story Told So Far by Mr. Lawrence Krauss. Again, I've got a review for this. You can check it out on my nonfiction playlist, and I will link it below as well. And Lawrence M. Krauss, The Greatest Story Told So Far. So this really is his exploration of the history of scientific advancement within the scientific world, and he kind of correlates or relates that to the idea that the Bible has been proclaimed the greatest story told so far. He contends the Bible isn't. The history of science is in fact the greatest story told so far. And I did enjoy this book, and you know, some point I'll probably pick up some more Lawrence M. Krauss. It was a good read all around, really enjoyed that, so check out my review. I will link that below so that you can check that out as well. And of course, you can check out my nonfiction playlist for all the other nonfiction books that I have on my shelf. So next up, we had continued on with Terry Pratchett's Discworld. This is an absolutely hilarious series. I've got a Discworld playlist on the channel too, I'm pretty sure. But we finished up Small Gods by Terry Pratchett. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I just recently posted my review of this one, so if you haven't checked that out yet, definitely check that out. Again, I'll have that link below. This is absolutely hilarious. Probably one of the best Terry Pratchett Discworld books that I personally have read so far. Absolutely love this book. Was laughing from the start right through. Just hilarious. Check it out. Well worth it. Anything Discworld is well worth it. Great thing about Discworld is virtually every book can be read as a standalone. You don't have to read the previous books to understand each individual book, but it's one just massive world, and it's hilarious. Small Gods, check it out, Terry Pratchett. Absolutely hilarious. This past month, I also read from a book published by a booktuber who's really big in the community, Daniel B. Green. He had his book, Breach of Peace, that he published. This was a very short, very quick read. I got through it in less than 2 hours. I've got my review on that up as well. Again, I will have that link below. Definitely go check that out. Breach of Peace by Daniel B. Green. It was okay. I wouldn't say that it was fantastic or great. It wasn't absolutely horrible. It's a good first attempt, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how his writing improves and how he gets better with future publications. I know that he's mentioned this is the first in a series of books that he wants, that he's termed the Lawful Times. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm looking forward to seeing how his next book improves over Breach of Peace when it comes through. So again, really, really short book. It's only like 134 pages, large writing, large printing, and overall was a really quick read, enjoyable read overall. So next up we finished up number 4 in The Expanse, See Ebola Burn by James S.A. Corey. This is an amazing book series. I am absolutely loving it. I think See Ebola Burn might actually be one of my favorite reads thus far from The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I don't think I've put out the review for this one yet, but it is coming up. So again, make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when this review goes live on YouTube. And I will link the review. I'll try to remember to come back and link the review once it's out live on this video, if I remember. But if not, you can bet it'll be on my science fiction playlist. So definitely check that out. This is just fantastic. Mankind now has access to thousands of worlds, and of course, you know, war essentially breaks out over one of the thousands of worlds. And of course, it's up to Mr. James Holden, Captain Holden, to save the day once again. But see Ebola Burn, just a fantastic entry into the Expanse series. Loving this series. The science fiction is real, it's tangible, it makes sense, it's realistic, it's gritty, it's kind of, I would say it's definitely kind of dark, not just because it takes place in space, but overall just a really great series, The Expanse, and I'm absolutely loving this series and enjoying each and every book in this series. And lastly, one of the book series that I started a reread on, which I was really pumped to start this reread and really excited to get back to it because it's been a really long time, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I first read this series long before I even started this channel, so I haven't really talked about Mistborn much on the channel, but I have talked about Brandon Sanderson a lot. So I started my reread of Mistborn, The Final Empire this past month, and I am so pumped to do a reread of this series because it's just so good. Mistborn is really what really got me hooked on Sanderson to begin with, and his Cosmere is just amazing. It's huge, it's vast in scope. It's just, there's links everywhere, and just a great, fantastic read. 100% across the board. Absolutely love Mistborn, and I'm loving going back and rereading. I'm doing all my rereads on Audible, and I can tell you it's a much different experience listening to the book and reading along with it while you do that. And you pick up on these subtle things that you just didn't notice the first time for. It's a great refresher. I'm really excited to do a reread of the whole Mistborn saga. And I'm hoping that when I'm done my reread of Mistborn saga, I'll be able to come back and kind of do like a whole video about Mistborn as a whole, rather than doing individual book reviews for each one. But this is just fantastic. Love Sanderson, love Mistborn, love his Cosmere and everything about it. Just all around fantastic. So that is what I got through in the month of July. So got through more books than I anticipated, which is a good thing. It was a great month of reading, really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I was able to get through as many books as I did. So yeah, now let's talk about what am I reading right now. So I've got two on the go. Continuing with my reread of Mistborn, I am working on The Well of Ascension, second book in the first Mistborn trilogy. Mistborn's actually divided into two. There's the first era, and then there's the new era, or second era of Mistborn. So The Well of Ascension is the second book in Mistborn first era. So really enjoying this, of course, because it is Brandon Sanderson, and he is amazing. So I'm working on that. Just recently started into my reread of The Well of Ascension. Great book all around. Fantastic. Again, if you haven't read Mistborn, read Mistborn. Great way to start in Sanderson. I know Epic Tales just started Sanderson with Mistborn, and I'm really looking forward to hearing his thoughts on Mistborn when he gets his video out. And this is just all around, just fantastic and great read. The other book I'm working on is actually a book that was recently sent to me by a self-published author, and I really enjoy getting books by self-published authors. It's just really awesome to me that they trust me to talk about their books when they work so hard to get them written, published, and out there, and they want to hear what I have to think about that, and I think that's just really cool. And Mr. Brad Hansen contacted me and asked me to review his book for him, The Secret Eye, so I'm going to be reading this one. It actually is not scheduled for release, at least not here in Canada, based on what I've seen on Amazon, until September 2nd. So I will be doing a video review on this, but I probably won't actually publish the video review until after or on the release date for this book. But yeah, I'm reading The Secret Eye by Brad Hansen. It is a historical military tale based in World War II, inspired by events from people in Mr. Hansen's family. So this is going to be really interesting. I definitely have, I guess you could describe a passing interest in world and military history. I wouldn't say it's something that I actively research and learn about, but when I come across stuff about military history, I do find it interesting reading at times. So it's kind of a passing casual interest, say, hey, this is interesting to learn about. So it'll be interesting to see how I enjoy this book. Typically, historical fiction is not something that I generally enjoy as a genre specifically. Thank you, Mr. Hans, for sending me your book. Do appreciate it, and I look forward to going over my final thoughts with you once I am done. So those are the books that I'm working on right now. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what do I have planned for the month of August? What's coming up on the channel? Well, we got some fun stuff coming up on the channel that I'm really looking forward to. First of all, I just want to talk a little bit about Roberta Bombinato. She's been kind enough to send me a few of her books, Blind Sympathy, An Unconventional Family, as well as An Unbreakable Family. Now, these are all self-published books. Now, Roberta Bombinato has agreed to come on the channel for an interview for a discussion about her books. So that'll be happening on August 22nd. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm really looking forward to having that discussion with her. This will be a live stream on the channel. I believe that's happening at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on August the 22nd. That is this Sunday. So definitely don't forget to tune in and check that out. Also, if you join me over on the Discord, that'll be linked below, you could actually have an opportunity to submit your questions for Roberta with regard to her books, you know, being an author, writing process, literally anything you want. So definitely join me over on the Discord, submit your questions for that Q&A coming up on August 22nd, and we can have a great conversation regarding being a self-published author, what the process was like, how she came up with her stories, who knows what. Submit your questions, we'll go over that, then join us on the live stream while we have that discussion. We'll of course take questions from the live chat if they come up as well. So check that out. These are the 3 books that Roberta was kind enough to send me to review. I've got reviews for them on my channel, so definitely look for them. I think they put them all under the fiction playlist. But anyway, that's coming up on August 22nd. That's going to be fun, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'll enjoy that for sure. So definitely check that out. And don't forget, submit your questions in the Discord channel and check it out. Yeah, so that's coming up in August. Really looking forward to that. Now let's talk a little bit about what am I planning on reading in the month of August? What is on my TBR for August? Hey, with any luck, I'll blow my TBR out of the water and get through more books that I plan, but I never want to over plan for reads because sometimes I don't always get through everything. That's happened before. So I try to keep it simple. So of course, you know, I expect I'm going to start The Hero of Ages, book 3 in the Mistborn trilogy in August once I finish up The Well of Ascension. I definitely expect to continue on with my reread of Mistborn, and hey, with any luck, I might get into Era 2 in August, but right now I'm just banking on getting The Hero of Ages completed in August. Or not completed, getting started this in August at the very least, finishing up The Well of Ascension. So, and then once I'm done my read of Mistborn, first and second era, I hope to do like a whole video all about Mistborn and all the awesomeness that is Mistborn. So let's hope I can get that done. All right, so what do I plan to read for the month of August? So of course you can expect it is the year of the Poe. I'm going to be continuing on with more Edgar Allan Poe tales coming up in the month of August from this wonderful copy of the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. So this month we got a few stories to cover from this wonderful collection. We've got King Pest, a tale containing an allegory. 3 Sundays in a Week, The Devil in the Belfry, Lionizing, some passages in the life of a lion, Crossing a Paragraph, Metzen Gerstein, The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather, How to Write a Blackwood Article, and A Predicament. So several stories. We'll see which one stands out for me this month. I'm looking forward to checking that out as I continue the year of the Poe here on the channel with the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. I am certainly enjoying this. This is just awesome, really. It is. I'm loving it. Edgar Allan Poe's classic. Really super enjoying his works here. That is going to be fun. And of course, continuing on with Mistborn, I expect to at least get to The Hero of Ages, if not finish The Hero of Ages in the month of August. This will be the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy before I move on to the 2nd trilogy, or the Mistborn Era 2. This is going to be an awesome read. I am really looking forward to checking this out and continuing my reread of it. It's been so long since I've read Mistborn. I'm so glad that I started my reread of Mistborn. again, because it's just so awesome. Absolutely loving Mistborn, and I really look forward to doing a full video on Mistborn once everything is done. Once I'm completed my reread, that'll be a lot of fun. So for my nonfiction read of the month, I'll be reading Yuval Noah Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. So this is on schedule for my nonfiction read of the month. I have read his other books, Homo Deus, and Sapiens, A Brief History of Humanity, as a small book, Money. Overall, I am enjoying Yuval Noah Harari's writing. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, so I am looking forward to getting to that. If his other books are any indication, with the exception of Money, which was kind of but if his other books are any indication, this one ought to be an interesting, fun read. So really looking forward to checking that out and seeing what he has to say about what these 21 lessons for the 21st century are. And we all know some of us need more lessons than others. Also, I do plan on getting to House of Chains. So yes, I'm going back into the world of Malazan, Book of the Fallen, with House of Chains in the month of August. So I've taken a few months break from this because you just need to with Malazan. Like these are big, thick books, and they're confusing. They can be hard to follow, but strangely, I keep being drawn back to this. It's like the idea of not finishing the series drives me up the wall because I need to know how it's going to all end. And yet, they are a struggle to get through these books. Like, just a struggle. So, House of Chains by Steven Erikson is coming up on my to-be-read pile for the month of August. These are in no particular order. This will probably be the last book that I pick up in August, to be completely upfront there with you. But it is on my TBR for August, so we'll see how House of Chains goes. And, you know, we'll see if I make a video about this one. Well, I haven't read it yet, so I guess I wouldn't have decided. I've made videos on the other ones, so I'll probably continue that with every book. But I'm actually taking a couple months between books right now for Malazan, Book of the Fallen, just because it is so massive. Like, it's a tough series to get through, but at the same time, the world is so in-depth. It's so much to it, you want to know. So that'll be coming up on the to-be-read pile for August. And of course, we also have more Terry Pratchett coming up in August with Lords and Ladies, the next book in the Discworld series. I've loved every Discworld book so far. I have no reason to believe I'm not going to love Lords and Ladies, because Terry Pratchett is hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Lords and Ladies by Terry Pratchett from the Discworld series. I have no doubt it's going to be highly entertaining read. No doubt at all, because Terry Pratchett's just hilarious. He is always hilarious from start to finish. Loving Terry Pratchett. Great read all around. Just fun from start to finish. So I have no doubt I'm going to be enjoying that. And of course, we also have Book 5 from The Expanse, Nemesis Games. If the previous 4 are any indication, again, a book I'm probably going to really like because The Expanse is just awesome. It's one of the best science fiction series I've read in a long time. It is just a great read all around from start to finish. This is going to be a fantastic read. I know it because all the other ones were good. I have high expectations for this one because the previous 4 just set this series up so well. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Nemesis Games in the month of August. This is going to be a great read. I am very, very sure of that and really looking forward to it. So there you have it. There is my July wrap-up. There's my August preview, what we could expect coming up in the month of August. I'm really excited about these books that I'm going to be reading. I'm excited to share my thoughts on them with you. I would love it if you'd hit that bell notification and subscribe so that you could hear my thoughts when they come out. And of course, as always, you can drop by my Discord. That'll be linked below. We can have a great chat about this. Follow me on Bookstagram. I'll have that link below as well. And just join me. Let's have a talk about it. I love doing this channel. I love talking about the books that I love. I love sharing my thoughts with all of you. And thank you all for subscribing, for those that have. Really super appreciate it. And as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye.